Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Allen Iverson is not signing with the Knicks. Hello and welcome to On the Air. I am your host, Kyle Yates, and Allen Iverson, as you all know, he's gone his separate ways with the Grizzlies, and he just recently cleared waivers to become a free agent. Whether or not he signs with another team, nobody knows, but the Knicks probably could have used him. I mean, they're not winning. So, might as well get your money's worth and sell some jerseys. Only if he plays for 3 games, it could help out a little bit. Seriously, I think he should. He's faced with a couple options at this point. He can retire, which would probably be the best thing for him to do. If I were him, that's what I would do. He could still play, yes. There's no denying his basketball ability and talent. But the thing with him is he just needs his own system. You can't just say, hey, Allen, welcome to the team. You'll be doing this. That's not really how Allen works. He needs a team where it's built around him. Filled with defensive players and wingmen and shooters. And, ever since the Phillies, not the Phillies, 76ers, excuse me, we're in the finals, he hasn't had that. A team, I think he could, and you never know, he possibly might end up earning his redemption, as you can say, would be with Charlotte, the Bobcats. His old coach back there, Larry Brown. Last time those two paired up, they did some pretty good things, and Charlotte is in pretty bad need of a point guard, because their rotation right now, the point guards are not doing very well. And having Iverson in there and running the system and, him being the main focus, the main offense, and not just coming off the bench, as it were, it would probably work out pretty well. But to be honest, I don't think he would go back and play with Larry Brown. You never know. I don't think he will. Speaking of fallen stars, Tracy McGrady apparently is ready to play, but the Rockets are saying, let's wait on this. I guess he's been dressing, and I guess he's been going through his pregame routines, and he's saying, hey, I'm ready to go. But looks like Rick Eidelman and the Rockets are saying, well, about that, Tracy, let's one step at a time type thing. You can really blame them. The Rockets have been playing well without Tracy, so to bring him in and to muck up the system, I can see concern over that, And you're grooming Ariza. He's your number one option right now. He's been playing well, and I can see concerns over ruining that, So it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens with that in that regard. I don't know if Tracy can play I know he can play like he used to. He just can't. Too many injuries will do that to you. But I'm sure in a limited role, maybe bringing him off the bench could work. Who knows? But as of now, looks like they're just saying, just hold off on that, Tracy. I can't really say I blame the Rockets coaching staff. You don't want to mess things up. And with that, we're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, we have our very own writer, Yama Hazir, come on, and we're going to discuss lots of NBA basketball. He's going to talk about the Warriors, and it should be good. So stay tuned. And we're back, and we have our very own guest here, Yama Hazir. Yama, thanks for coming aboard.
Thank you for having me.
And no problem. So, real quickly, just going over some of the games that happened last week. Anything big stand out to you? Any games in particular you were watching?
Oh, sad to see that the Nets still haven't won a game. They've had a lot of injuries. That could be a reason, but Chris Douglas-Roberts is playing good. He's living up to how he was doing at Memphis right now. A young star, that's impressive. Devin Harris needs to get 100%. We could see them soon win their first game.
Yeah, it's kind of strange how it generated a lot of media buzz. Both teams aren't doing that well, but, I guess it's a battle of the terribles, but the Nets have been they have been struggling with a lot of injuries. I think once they actually get healthy, they'll win a game because they've been, from the looks of it, they've been playing hard. You know, it's just a matter.
Yeah, they've been showing a lot of effort, and Lawrence Frank has been doing a good job. So
Yeah,
their first one should come soon.
yeah. A little bit surprised that they haven't canned Lauren Franks. You know, New Orleans got rid of Brian Scott pretty quick, so it's good to see.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising to see, but Lawrence Frank is a younger coach, so I guess they're giving him more opportunities, and he has good chemistry with the current core that they have, so it's a good idea not to fire him, especially with the way the team's been playing right now. Hurt moral even more.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good thing to see that they're actually giving him a chance to coach, you know, instead of just firing him off real quick.
Yeah, unlike last year where a lot of coaches were fired in the beginning of the season due to their poor play.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to see, but, you know, they find other jobs pretty quick, so it's usually not too bad. So, how about your Warriors? You guys finally traded Steven Jackson. Has that helped you guys out a lot, or, you know?
Yeah, like all the players have been saying, like Anthony Morrow, Stephen Curry, Monte Ellis, the ball movement's gone better. Now they don't have to play 4-on-5 defense with Steven Jackson arguing on the other side of the court. So
Yeah.
that's always nice to see. And it's even better when McGeady's on the bench because the ball movement's better. The young core of guys are more energetic and they don't just hoist up random jumpers.
Yeah. I can imagine a starting lineup with both McGeady and Jackson. The ball wouldn't see that much movement at all, you know?
Yeah.
So, definitely a good thing that McGeady's back to the bench. So yeah, so how has Budrin's been playing this year? He's been just been doing his thing, just keep plugging away type thing.
Beatrice was, actually, I'm not gonna lie, he's been playing bad. Like the first 2 games of the season, his offense has been bad. He barely got the ball. That's also due to Don Nelson's coaching. If an offensive player that's a big man that can't shoot, he's not gonna play him much. And Beatrice has also been injured. I think he's only played like a few games, like 3 or 4 games this season, and out with a bad back and wrist.
Right. That's another thing about the Warriors that kind of sticks out to me is just Don Nelson's coaching style. It kind of seems to clash with a lot of the players and stuff. I mean, his idea of small ball and fast break, it has worked, but it's like it doesn't seem to really click with this group of Warrior players. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, I agree, because not a lot of them can shoot. Like Anthony Randolph, he's turning him into more of a shooting player. When you watch him play, you see that he hoists up jump shots like randomly just to get on Nelly's good side. Like Mikey Moore, Vladimir Radmanovic, they all have jumpers. Anthony Randolph doesn't want to be the only one without a jumper, so he's just not playing his game just to get more minutes, which is not a good sign.
Yeah, that's that can't be good for his development.
Yeah.
I've noticed Stephon Curry, he's been playing well. When he's been given the minutes, he seems to have a pretty good jumper. Has he been playing well within the Warrior offense and playing well with other players?
Yeah, the backcourt's been surprising. Monte and Stephen Curry are both under 6'4", so surprising to see that they've been playing this well so far. They also got lit up for 55 points against Brandon Jennings, so that could be a sign of things to come. Their defense hasn't been playing well due to both of them being undersized.
Yeah. Speaking of Brandon Jennings, if you had to choose for this season, who would you have running your point? Brandon Jennings or Ellis or Curry?
This season, I'll probably pick Monte Ellis, but Brandon Jennings is really close. Jennings is being coached by Scott Styles, who's a hard, tough coach, so he could give him more minutes and he could teach him how to play good defense, while Monte isn't playing with Don Nelson.
Yeah.
It's not a good sign. But I'll still pick Ellis due to more experience, but I'll pick Jennings over Curry right now.
Yeah, Jennings has been playing unbelievable. The Bucks, they're 8-3, which is surprising to me. Coming into the season, I didn't think they would I had figured they'd be very mediocre, wouldn't make the playoffs, but with even they've had some injuries, but they've been playing pretty well, and that's without Michael Redd. So my question is, if Michael Redd does come back, granted they don't trade him, would that backcourt work of Jennings and Redd? Would that be a very deadly backcourt, or would there be potential problems with ball movement?
I don't think they would mesh because Brandon Jennings needs the ball in his hands to be successful. He's kind of like a younger Allen Iverson right now. Mm-hmm. So Michael Redd needs the ball himself as well, with all the scoring that he does. So it's best for the Bucks to trade Michael Redd at this point, while his value doesn't get any lower than it is right now.
Yeah, I mean he's played well on the Olympic teams, but just hasn't been playing at all because of the injury. If they do trade Michael Redd, where could you see him end up going? I think Cleveland might be a good suitor. They could be in need of a shooting guard. What do you think?
Yeah, they need a shooting guard. Delonte West hasn't been working out, and I don't know how many minutes Anthony Parker could play in a game due to his age. So they could really use Michael Redd in the scoring. They in fact wanted Steven Jackson, but the Warriors traded him to the Charlotte Bobcats, so that couldn't work out. Michael Redd would be a good addition to Cleveland because of his shooting ability. He could just stay in the corner while LeBron penetrates, and he could hoist up a bunch of free threes.
Right. How has you guys got back Roger Bell in that Jackson trade? Who else did you get back?
Vladimir Radmanovic.
Right. I imagine talent-wise, it was okay. It was just to get rid of Jackson, but has Radmanovic and Bell worked out? I heard that Bell was supposed to have wrist surgery.
Yeah, that's correct.
I don't know if he's had that yet. How have they been playing inside the Warriors since they've arrived?
Well, Radmanovic's shooting hasn't been what it is so far, but he's been rebounding the ball pretty well right now. And Raja Bell, he played one game with his messed up wrist, and it's proved that he's a better fit for the team just because he could actually defend. He's a good leader. He's a good guy in the locker room. And just playing with the wrist injury really helped some of the younger Warriors, helped the chemistry. They were surprised, and he's just been a great leader, even though playing only one game.
Yeah. Do you see Raja Bell staying with the Warriors next season? I believe he might be a free agent next year. If he is a free agent, do you think there's a good chance you guys can get him to sign back, or is it just kind of one and done?
I think we could get him back, especially since playing that one game. Really, like Monte Ellis, before the trade, he even said he doesn't even know who Raja Bell is, and he doesn't even care about him. After that one game, he earned Monte's respect and proved that he's a good player for his team. So I hope that the front office re-signs him, but we never know.
Yeah. Well, if he can make that kind of an impact on the team, I would hope the Warriors front office would make the moves necessary to bring him back.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your opinion about the Allen Iverson situation? He left the Grizzlies. Some rumors going around that he might have signed with New York, but apparently that's been axed. And right now, he's just kind of doing nothing. He cleared waivers to be a free agent. Do you see any potential teams taking a chance on him? Maybe Charlotte?
Yeah, you could go to Charlotte, play under Larry Brown, because they've been having point guard troubles. Raymond Felton hasn't been playing as much better as he should be. Allen Iverson, is sad to see that what's happened to his legacy. He's a future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest players of all time. To see his ego and selfishness take over him like this, just sad to see.
Now, I've talked to a lot of people, and from what I gather, a lot of people feel that he isn't worthy of the Hall of Fame. Granted, he's had a great career, and he got to the finals the one year with the 76ers, but from a lot of people what I've talked about, they felt like his scoring ability hasn't been enough to put him there. Would you agree with that, or would you say, no, he's put a significant change on the game with how he plays?
Nah, he belongs in the Hall of Fame for sure. I mean, he hasn't won a ring, but he's one of the greatest little men to ever play the game. His scoring's just been amazing to see. He's averaged, 28 to 30 points career-wise. It's one of the greatest of all time. He's like, at best, 6 foot, and he's averaged that many points. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's sad to see how his legacy has kind of spiraled out of control here towards the end. But if he doesn't sign with any teams this season, do you think maybe Europe could be an option for him?
I don't know if he would go to Europe, but it's kind of like, this is like the Brett Favre saga right now. He's not retiring, but he's just hurting his legacy doing all this. But I don't know if he would go to Europe or not.
Right. It is pretty similar to the Brett Favre situation. I don't see Allen Iverson contemplating retirement. I think he's the type of guy that will play until he can't play anymore. And if nobody wants him, he'll just not play, I guess. But he won't. I don't see him coming out saying, okay, I'm going to retire.
Yeah, I don't see that either yet.
All right, and we've got some forum questions here. We got a couple questions from His Greatness and Pudini. First one up from His Greatness is, what is the ideal trade for Monta? What will the Warriors trade him for instead? Your thoughts?
Personally, I'll trade Monta Ellis for O.J. Mayo. According to some Memphis Grizzlies fans, Mayo hasn't been working out right now for the Grizzlies, and Rudy Gay looks to be the franchise player. So I'll trade Monta for Mayo any second, but knowing the Warriors front office would probably trade him for Jordan Farmar and Sasha Vujacic.
That'd be nice for the Lakers.
Yeah.
Definitely would. Another question he asks is, what is Randolph's ceiling?
It'll be much higher once Don Nelson stopped coaching the Warriors, but he's a potential superstar. The way he plays, his work ethic, his talent, he has all the skill set, but just with Don Nelson coaching him, it's kind of been a up and down relationship, so it's been hurting him a lot.
Right. Another thought on that is, how long do you see Don Nelson actually staying with the Warriors? Do you see maybe him, being fired anytime soon, or is it one of those situations where he's going to be there for a while?
Knowing the front office, I doubt he'll be fired anytime soon. But I think he'll stay and finish out his contract, which should end by the end of next season. And Keith Smart, the assistant coach, will take over during that time, and we'll see how far we can go from there.
Right. Another question from His Greatness is, does Don Nelson pick his in-game rotations out of a hat?
Sure seems like it, but I guess he just goes with players that could shoot or whoever's on his good side during the time.
Right. I remember the very beginning of the season, he had Corey Maggette start as power forward for, I don't know if it was a few games or just one game, but I remember seeing that and I was like, that's kind of questionable.
Yeah, Don Nelson's like that. You started Corey Maggette, he's power forward, undisputed as a center, but it's hard for Beatens because he's the only big man on the team that could actually rebound if you start the lineup like that. Maggette doesn't care about rebounding or anything like that. He just wants to get his stats up, like his points per game and stuff.
Right. If you could have any, this isn't a question from His Greatness, but if you could have a young big man to play alongside Beatens, maybe someone like a Marc Gasol, would you like to have someone like that in the lineup with Beatens to help get the boards and defend the paint?
Marc Gasol is a great post player. He lost a lot of weight during the offseason, which has helped him running the offense more, and that'll be great for the Warriors since he can run now, and he's a great rebounder. I believe he is one of the top leading rebounders in the league right now. His post skills are amazing, and let's just hope he turns out to be as good as his brother.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be that way. I wouldn't say it's a little bit upsetting to see that we traded for him because we got Pau Gasol and a title in return. I guess it's good to see that the trade wasn't quite as lopsided, at first.
Yeah, a lot of people are making it seem like it's lopsided, but it's not that bad since you guys got expiring contracts. Or Memphis got expiring contracts and Marc Gasol.
Right.
It looks to be an all-star this season.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if he doesn't get in, at least as a reserve. Another question from His Greatness is, when will Kohan sell?
I don't know. Hopefully, could be by the end of this season. There's been a lot of talks that Larry Ellison, the CEO of Oracle, wants to buy the team. He's been wanting to buy the team for a while now, but Chris Kohan still ain't sold on selling the team, so we'll just see how it goes from there. But hopefully he could sell it soon, because it's getting sad to see the Warriors have become sort of like the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah. Do you think if they did sell it, with the new ownership, they, I guess you could say attendance-wise, and just brighten up the Warriors of how they play and stuff. Not necessarily how they play, but, just bringing in more people and making it more lively, as it were.
Yeah, it should be a fresh look. Larry Ellison's one of the richest men in the world, so he could sell, or he could get a lot of free agents by being the Warriors' owner. And he could also fire Robert Rao, Larry Riley, Don Nelson, all the rest of the mess in the front office right now.
Right. Final question from His Greatness. Philly or Golden State at not winning games?
I'll go with Golden State, but at least Philadelphia still has the Phillies. Oh, wait.
Nice. Yeah, both teams seem to be just kind of stuck in mediocre, purgatory.
Yeah, Philadelphia's like that because of Eddie Jordan. Once he's on, they should be a little better.
Right. And when you look at Philadelphia's core, they've got good players. It just seems like Eddie Jordan doesn't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
All right, we got some questions here from Houdini. First one up is reason for Mayo's struggles.
Mayo's been struggling a lot recently, also because of Mike Conley's struggles. He hasn't been able to get him the ball a lot lately, and also because of the whole Allen Iverson saga, ruined the whole chemistry of the team. Mayo doesn't know how many minutes per game he was going to get, so just look for him to play much better now.
And I would think with Allen Iverson finally being gone, they just clean slate type thing, just separated, that the players would, because I imagine there would be a lot of pressure playing with Allen Iverson, because all of a sudden everyone's paying attention towards you, they had a ton of people just attending their practices and stuff because they wanted to see Allen Iverson, so I imagine that they weren't quite used to that spotlight, as it were.
Yeah, the pressure's off now, so he should succeed into being the all-star type player that he is.
Let's see, another question from Houdini is reason for the Bucks' success despite a very mediocre roster.
Scott's coaching has been excellent so far. Without Michael Redd, the ball movement's been better. He's kind of like Steven Jackson for them, I'm guessing. And Brandon Jennings has just been magnificent for the team right now, so it's been crazy.
Yeah. Can you see the Bucks maintaining this pace they're playing and maybe even edging out Cleveland for the division title?
I can't see them being in Cleveland for the division title, but I could see them being going into the playoffs. But it all depends on how Michael Redd plays when he comes back.
Last question here from Houdini is reason for Thaddeus Young struggling in Princeton offense.
I think an athletic guy like Young needs to be in an offense, like running gun offense, something like Golden State, Phoenix, or even New York. So maybe if he goes to one of those teams, or if Eddie Jordan's fired, we'll see his production go up.
Granted, Golden State has quite a bit of wingmen, but could you guys really use someone like Thaddeus Young running the break out there with Ellis and Curry?
Yeah, we could use someone like that, but we already have another young lefty in Anthony Randolph, so I don't see a trade like that occurring.
All right, that's it for all the questions we have. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up or talk about?
Join OTRbasketball.com.
Nice. Always got to get the plugs in. Let's see, is there any other sites? I know you were writing for Fan Huddle. How has that been working out, writing-wise? Unless you can't talk about it.
Nah, I just quit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Seems like there's nothing better than OTR to write for right now, so.
Oh, that's great. I mean, if I won the lotto, I would set it to where we would pay the writers and stuff, but obviously that's not the case. But maybe someday, hopefully, when we make it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, all right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on and discussing basketball. It's been great. Hopefully we can get you on again, maybe with some other guests, and maybe get a roundtable going. Thanks for